have quite a number of stories that are up for discussion this evening. And we look at the two youths, Lusaka youths, who have reported Honorable Kasauta and Matambo for promoting cadreism as well as inciting violence, respectively. And also another interesting story is that of the Deputy Inspector General of Police, of course, was made news as of Friday last week. And of course, we'll be looking at all these hot issues. Allow me to introduce, as usual, my three gentlemen in the studio in the name of Pastor Kennedy Mambwe, or simply PK as we call him. And also we've got Dr. Lawrence Mwelwa. He joins us back in the studio this evening. And next to me, I've got the speech analyst himself, Comrade Mike Sichula. PK, welcome, and good evening to you.
Good evening, the Pan-Africanist IP, and good evening to our dear viewers.
How is your Sunday? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I mean, we should be hearing from you. You met Professor Lumumba.
Tapping the spirit.
What notes were you exchanging?
It was all about the continent of Africa.
Right.
The Pan-Africanism spirit.
Yes. Awesome.
Sure. All right, Doc, welcome, and good evening to you.
Thank you,
You
IP.
missed out last week.
Thank you, IP. Good evening, viewers. Last week, I was unable to attained because I was very committed doing one or two things. And I thought that you, the capable men in the house, can still go ahead and do the analysis. And I followed from a distance. You did a good job.
Great.
As usual.
Thank you so much. Of course, your knowledge was missing, so we welcome you back this evening.
Thank you so
Great.
much, IP.
And the man who is here to break the stories as a speech analyst, welcome, and how is your Sunday?
Thank you very much, IP, and good evening to our dear viewers. It's a lovely Sunday. Again, we are back by the grace of God. We cannot take anything for granted. We don't do it by ourselves. It is the grace of God that enables us to be here. And it's a lovely good evening to our dear viewers watching us from wherever they are. And before we came on the set, I was telling IP to say, you left me from tapping the blessings from Professor. Whilst I was home waiting for electricity to come, I could have gone with you to the airport.
No, I take full responsibility. We'll try by all means so that you could see the prof. I mean, after all, he tells me that I've grown, so it's you guys to take up the mantle.
And I think it's good to have him in the country.
Yeah.
We need such people to come into the country, and a number of Zambians follow him. I think we can learn one or two things from him.
Exactly. All right, allow me to welcome all of you that have tuned in this evening. This is the analysis program. Of course, we meet every Sunday at 20-30 hours to just highlight to you some of the stories that, of course, you might have missed out. Now, let's start with the first story here of the two Lusaka-based youths in the name of Mweta Chabota and also Abraham, who decided to report some members of parliament in the name of Honorable Kasauta, Member of Parliament for Wengwa, and also Honorable Elisha Matambo, who is a Copperbelt Province Minister for promoting cadreism as well as inciting violence, respectively. Let's just watch some of these two clips, and then from there, or rather it's a single clip, and then from there we'll dive into the discussion.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jabota Mwetwajilinda.
And my name is Abraham Kabia.
And we have two announcements to make, one each. So I'll go first. I would like to announce to the people of Zambia that I have personally reported Honorable Member for Bwengwa constituency, Honorable Mijelo Kasauta, for making what I consider a very irresponsible statement. You've all heard of it? It's the one he says he has declared that cadreism is back. I believe it's a very irresponsible statement to make in a politically charged climate like this one. So I have done what needs to be done. Report such behavior, because he is literally inciting what I believe is inciting violence. So I have reported him at Central Police, and they will look into that. How far the case will go, that will be left to the authorities, but I believe they will do the best they can, and they have been very professional. So that's the announcement I wanted to make on behalf of the Zambian people. I took one for you. I'll let the second announcement come from Mr. Abraham.
Thank you so very much. I've also reported the Minister for the Copper Belt, Honorable Hichilema, for inciting violence. I'm sure we all heard what he said when he was in Chingola. So I think, to me, that's dangerous for a leader to be coming out like that. That's why we decided to say, let's do this so that we see where this will take us. I think there's nothing much to say. All has been said, and we wait for the results.
Yes, so I believe that it is everyone's duty as a citizen of Zambia to actually make sure the law is carried out to the way it's supposed to be. And it breaks my heart seeing that leaders who are actually so powerful, and they'll be making such irresponsible statements in a time like this one. But this is just an announcement we decided to tell you so that you shouldn't be surprised. Otherwise, at the end of the day, we're just doing what responsible citizens should be doing. Otherwise, to the two people we've mentioned in this video, maybe it might be wise for you to visit Central Police and answer for your irresponsible statements. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into the discussion, gentlemen. We will start with PK. There was a video, of course. I'll try by all means to play that video of Wengwa Member of Parliament, Honorable Kasauta, just to find out what he spoke about. But before that, what is your take over what is going on and the report which has been done by the two youths here?
IP, thank you very much. First of all, I must commend the two youths who have taken the initiative to report the Member of Parliament for Wengwa to the police, as well as the Minister for Copper Belt, Mr. Elisha Matambo, who, respectively, one was promoting Kedarism, one was inciting violence. It is very unfortunate that political leaders would be the ones to be in the forefront to promote Kedarism and or incite violence. One would have expected that they would be in the forefront to preach restraint, to preach observance of the rule of law, promoting peace and order, public security, and all of that. But to see a Member of Parliament being in the forefront of saying Kedarism is back, at the back of the stoning of the president in Chingola, I feel that's a knee-jerk reaction by the concerned Member of Parliament, and it must be condemned because there's a lot expected from him. I keep saying, this particular, statement, and saying that to whom much is given, much is required. So there's a lot of leadership required from Mr. Kasauta. There's a lot of leadership required from Mr. Matambo. And we, the citizens of Zambia, need more from our leaders. We demand more from our leaders. You cannot stoop low and, take the decorum of the offices that they occupy to the level of a common person. No. As a leader, you're not a common man. The song by PK Chad. You're not a common man. You are honorable. The office you occupy is supposed to be honorable. The words should be measured and they should be inspiring. So I commend the youths once again.
Right.
My only I don't know. I don't have confidence that the police would do anything.
You don't have confidence?
No, I do not have confidence in our police that they will do anything. If they have the backbone. If they have adherence to their ethical training, here is a case in point. Prove yourself and prove to the Zambian people that you can do the job without fear of anything. At any point in a society, you need men and women who will not look at their bread and butter.
Right.
You need men and women who will say what is right for my society. And they will do the right thing. So I expect the police to act, but I don't have confidence in them, unfortunately.
Wow. Let us have a look at the video of Honorable Kasauta Mijero of Wengo constituency.
Alimi bali ku Northern Province, alimi bonse bali ku Northwestern Province. Today we have declared Kadarism has started. Suno bambo kuzwa ijindi ba president ne bagajita declare no cadarism kuzwa ni bagajita declare no cadarism twabona kwamba kuti ba president babaderera alimi twabona kwamba kuti alo inka mubayiderera. Now we want to show them the way we are.
Right, that's a video there in question that is under discussion right here on the analysis program. PK, Dr. Lawrence Mwelwa, as well as speech analysts, they're here to break down and also make you understand what really transpired. Doc, here is a pronouncement coming out so strongly with a lot of passion and conviction. But again, this gentleman or the MP has apologized that that statement was issued under the what we may call heat of the moment. What is your take?
First and foremost, we are dealing with words,
right?
And as we deal with words, in the context of criminality, we have to be very careful.
Right.
And also when we deal with words in the context of the political atmosphere, when he says Kadarism is back, maybe we might be too harsh to conclude that he refers to violence, because the word in itself, Kadarism, doesn't imply violence.
Right.
But if we apply history to the word Kadarism, then it begins to send signals of violence, because that is how Kadarism has been known in the Zambian context. The word Kadarism in itself does not mean violence, but the history applied to the word Kadarism, we see the conduct, the behavior of the cadres within the Zambian political context has been associated with violence, vulgar language, and of course, you know, a lot of pomp, mistreatment of the other camps and so on. So that is where it becomes tricky. And so when you are using a word that has been contaminated by history, that's how I look at it. It's a word that has been contaminated by history, and because it has been contaminated by history, you have to use it very cautiously. And those who are forensic experts will actually tell you that when they are examining words which are purported to be criminal, they look at the facial expression, they look at the context in which it was said, and so on. But if you look at the context and the pressure, one would immediately conclude that this statement was referring to violence. And what is amazing is that a few days later, we see pictures of mayhem, you know, at the PF Secretariat and on the streets of Lusaka. So would we be right to conclude that as a result of the call by the two honorable leaders, and again, let me just talk about leadership. Leadership is a sacred role. When you are a leader, people imitate you. People take your words seriously. So when you make a pronouncement, it carries weight. It carries the power that comes with your office. And so that is why leaders ought to be very careful. Now, coming to the two young men that have gone to report these matters to the police, that must be appreciated. It shows a lot of courage in the hearts of these young men and in their action to go and report these leaders to the police. The question remains, will the police be able to act and act impartially? Because they are not the ones who will then be able to look at the definition of the word cadarism, who will then be able to look at the whole thing. Their task is to arrest and present these people before the courts of law, and then the courts of law will interpret whether these two people committed an offense or not. But again, what we have witnessed in the past 4 years is that there is no record of an arrest of those that are in power. And so we'll wait and see.
Right.
And talking about history and cadarism, we have seen, you know, action from the UPND going to attack the PF Secretariat. But I think even if we go back in history of this nation and the history of the UPND government, there has never been a time when the PF, even during the time they were in power, when they went to confront the UPND at their headquarters. I beg to be corrected, but I don't have a record to that effect. What do we take of this? Is it that the UPND is trying to tell the Zambians that this is their nature? It's a violent political party? So those are questions that needs to be answered.
Right.
I followed the press briefing briefly from Cornelius, you know, distancing themselves from what happened yesterday. But the question still stands. We need to see action by way of arrest of those people who were involved in yesterday's mayhem.
All right, Comrade Sijola?
Quite unfortunate scenes that we've seen in the last couple of days following the incident of the stoning of President Hakainde and Hichilema in Chingola. What we have seen is a pattern that the UPND administration wants to impose fear on members of the public. Fear to say cadarism is back, and because of how people perceive cadarism, when you just say cadarism, because of where we're coming from, like Doc has said, we're coming from a period where when you mention the issue of cadarism, people associate a cadarism to political violence. And the mention of cadarism is back just instills fear in people. And when you see what happened at the PF Secretariat, for instance, that was instilling fear. And the pattern that again we have seen on the Copper Belt, we have seen processions, UPND processions in the CBD. That is just sending a message to say, if you continue to do what you did to our president on the Copper Belt, we can revenge with the same equal of measure. That is the problem that I've seen. And coming to my two fellow youths who have reported the matter to Central Police, the only challenge I have, considering that the police has put itself in an awkward position. They have put themselves in this position because past experiences, riding on what Dr. Moyo has said, we have not seen any arrest made to any complaints that Zambians have made. I'll give you an example. When some youths insulted late President Edgar Lungu at the Lusaka Magistrates Court, no arrests were made, even if the UPND leaders claimed that some youths were arrested. But to date, we do not know what happened to those youths who were arrested, whether what punishment was meted to them. So, the state where we are, if people will ask, can we say the UPND has always been a violent political party? I'll give you an example personally. When there was the Chundu Chaitwa? When there was a Chundu Chaitwa in Monze, I was there with some media colleagues. I was confronted by some UPND cadres who wanted to I don't know what they wanted to do with me and another media colleague on the COPA in Monze. Karan Muchima is the one who came to my rescue and the rescue of the other colleague. The UPND cadres wanted to beat us for no apparent reason because we are there to cover. So if you say the UPND cadres are violent, to me, yes, UPND cadres have been violent. And when President Hakainde Hichilema said that there will not be cadreism, it's like he put them in a tight corner to say don't harm people. And he has continued to say this message. So to me, UPND cadres, you cannot say UPND cadres are friendly. UPND cadres are violent. I've experienced it not one time, 2 times. There was a time of the presidential petition at the Supreme Court. I was there covering with some colleagues. We wanted to ask President Hakainde Hichilema to say, now that the 14 days has elapsed, what are you going to do? We are confronted by UPND cadres who got disturbed by the question. They thought we were mocking President Hichilema by asking him what he was going to do after the 14 days of his petition had collapsed before arguments could be made in court. We were followed by UPND cadres who wanted to beat us at the premises of the Supreme Court. So me, I'm speaking from a personal experience of how UPND cadres came to attack us. During that time at the Magistrates Court, it is President Hakainde Hichilema who stood firm and said media colleagues should not be harassed. And he looked at one of these cadres with a very, very strong eye. And I don't know what happened to that cadre, but President Hakainde Hichilema stood firm. So, when you begin to see members of parliament, such as the ones from Bwengwa and Honorable Matambo on the Copper Belt, begin to speak otherwise, it simply shows that there are certain members of the UPND top leadership who do not believe or they do not subscribe to the issue of saying let us not have violent cadres in this country. Because if you are going to maintain a no cadreism in the context of violence, I don't think you can begin to hold processions on all the districts on the Copper Belt because the president was stoned. Because you are simply saying we are going to come after you and we can punish you the way maybe the president has been blocking us from punishing you. So the violence of cadreism from the UPND has been there even the time they were in opposition. But this is not to say that PF cadres were not violent. I remember again another personal experience when I went to Bigoka. I think most of us will remember the issue of the Bigoka. Went to Bigoka, it was something to do with the constitutional arrangement, Black Friday, and so on and so forth. I went to cover that event. We were in that church gathering, and PF cadres appeared on the doorway, and they asked us inside. There was Commissioner now, McDonald Chipenzi, Ges Mirenda, and other members of civil society, including Bishop John Mambo. PF cadres came into the church, Bigoka church, and they beat the hell of everyone who was inside there. So political cadreism in terms of violence, I've experienced it firsthand. So both the UPND cadres and the PF cadres, I cannot say they are not violent. All of them are violent. They have been violent.
And they are still violent.
And they are still violent. And
Wow.
when you begin to incite, then you are making a mistake with a call that President Hakainde Hichilema has made. Because like I've told you, at the Supreme Court grounds, President Hakainde Hichilema warned his cadres to say, don't attack the media. But the measure at which the president is saying, don't do this to the cadres, is not being supported by members of his cabinet. So
Right.
it is a very sad state of affairs.
All right. Quite interesting indeed, and quite detailed examples you've given us in terms of where we're coming from.
What if I said that the PF's behavior was reactionary? You know, because the others were violent,
Yeah.
and therefore the PF reacted to their violence.
So
Because for 4 years now, the PF, you've never heard of PF going to any, you know, any office or anywhere that PF throwing stones or beating people. It ended with their departure from office.
Yes.
But the other camp, even before they came into office,
They were violent.
we saw these things. I mean,
Yeah.
and that is why I would assume that the PF even then could probably have been reactionary because of the behavior of their friends. So we need to get back to history and see, where did the violence start from? Where did it get bad?
yeah.
If we have to be honest with ourselves, let's take, for example, the Mungu, you know, saga.
Yeah, traffic, yeah.
What was called a traffic offense. But in that traffic offense, you hear people throwing out insults, driving in a provocative way against the motorcade of the head of state. Well, so I don't know how we interpret that, but my honest view is that you know, one of the two bears it within themselves, and the other one is reactive, because what is happening now is causing the other camp to now start planning to react. I've seen a few videos around where they are now, you know, trying to reorganize to defend themselves.
Well, I want to differ with you. I'm not supposed to differ.
No,
with
you
but
are.
I have
You
to
are.
differ with you. You know, look, Doc. For me, the bottom line is that the PF were also violent. This I will tell you. The examples which Comrade has given you, I can give a catalog of the examples of how PF used to misbehave when they were in power. I can give you examples of my personal abductions by the PF at Wuseko Market there. I can give examples about how Honorable Jean Kapata's cadres came and abandoned me in a Corolla. These are cadres. So I don't want to go to those details and stuff like that. But the bottom line remains that when a political party is in power like the way the PF were, they would want to abuse the powers. They want to use the power of incumbents, you know, by suppressing other people. But also not taking away the fact that also the UPND at the time, because they were on a weaker position, we were thinking that the UPND were just being reactive because the opposition and stuff like that. And you know, the other hypocrisy that also from the government side, when the PF were in power, we were misbehaving. When we interviewed HH, a number of us, Speaker interviewed HH, I interviewed President Hakainde Hichilema. You must also been interviewed on these press briefings or so. But on TV, I asked him, say, look, your members are being cited that you are being violent together with the PF. And the answer he used to give us was that when you are in charge, when you are in power, you can end cadreism within a minute. So Lungu is a problem because he's failing to end this cadreism. And the question is now, 4 years down the line, why is that this cadreism is coming back? Is it still Lungu?
The question
Was
is, has it ever stopped?
No.
Has it ever
These are the
stopped?
questions
Because
you can ask.
if you look at the by-elections that have been held in different locations,
yeah.
I mean, I took part in the Chienge by-election where cadres came to attack us at the house, unprovoked.
There you go.
You know, we are just seated in the house and they come and...
So,
wow.
So the problem, the problem that we have
I don't want us to get deep into
no,
because
we must set time.
Gentlemen,
we must set time when we can just focus on this subject.
And you want this issue to come to an end. But the next story is speaking to the same. All right. So please permit me to go to the next story, which is, of course, speaking to the same day, you know, the attack which happened at the PF Secretariat. Now, we're looking at the police absent at the unruly UPND cadres who decided to beat some innocent citizens at the PF Secretariat. Another sad story. PK, we're in the midst of just asking these burning questions. Doc, myself, and the speech analyst.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the PF attack.
So, first of all, this points us back to, as the statement says, police absent, you know, in that unruly procession. How is it possible that the police were unaware of a violent procession by cadres from the ruling party?
They came from Intercit because they had a meeting at Intercit.
Yes.
Addressed by the deputy mayor of Lusaka,
yes,
Keti Nanyangwe.
Yes.
From there, it is alleged that it is how they mobilized and went to storm the PF Secretariat. Because it's near.
So my question, again, remember when I said I don't have confidence in the police? You can't tell me, IP, or you dear viewers, that the police intelligence was not aware of the gathering of the UPND cadres. Indeed, did they even have a permit?
No.
Did they have a police permit? No. Have they become larger than the law? Have they become so powerful that they are untouchable? That everyone else must obtain a police permit except the UPND cadres? If you are wearing a red beret, then you have passport to do whatever you want at will. Where was the police when that unruly procession of cadres, clad in clear UPND regalia, marched to Secretariat of PF and began to beat? In fact, those were not PF cadres.
Yeah.
They were just passers-by. They were just caught up in that unfortunate incident. Again, I ask, where was the police? The silence by the police does not give confidence to the Zambian people to believe that they have what it takes to tame the ugly herd of cadreism as we begin to see it unfolding now. Indeed, I'm beginning to wonder whether cadreism really ended. You noticed there was a by-election in Kawambwa. Is it Kawambwa there where President Sean Tembo was attacked? There is a young man who you interviewed, IP, by the name of Black Apple, was picked up from a memorial park at a graveyard, bundled into the back of a vehicle and transported to an unknown place, tortured and forced to confess that you will be supporting President Hakainde Hichilema, you and your colleagues. Those were cadres. Have they been arrested? And then the unfortunate incident that happened on the Copper Belt. To hear Mr. Obvious Mwaliteta saying that we will mobilize and defend the president. Is it the job of cadres to protect the president? Isn't it the job of the police? So when cadres want to say we will mobilize and protect the president, what are you saying about the police? You have overthrown them. You have taken over their constitutional duty. Are we becoming such a reckless state that we can take away the police and say we, the cadres, will protect the president? Is that what we are saying?
It's like telling us that HH will be now operating from the UPND Secretariat, where there's enough security.
So these are very, very worrisome developments. But I want to end by saying this. UPND must never be naive as to suffer from amnesia. Amnesia is this forgetfulness. They themselves are on record to cite why PF was punished. And many stakeholders have said PF was punished, among many other things, because of cadreism. Few months before an election, you want to unleash cadres when so much is not happening, when people are enduring two hours of electricity, when people are enduring acute shortage of fuel, when people are struggling with the cost of living, and so many other things that are not happening well, and you want to permit cadreism to resurface and terrorize innocent citizens. Unless you know that things are not going well and you don't care, then you continue to watch cadreism at the scale that we are seeing. But I'm happy that the Minister of Information
has distanced
the party and government, so to speak, from that kind of behavior. That is what is expected. But can we see those words be matched with action? Words alone are not sufficient. If indeed this government is saying we distance ourselves, can we see the police act and arrest those who are perpetrating this ugly act? We rejected cadreism in PF. We totally reject it now. Just because it is UPND cadres does not mean they are special. They are not special. The law is supreme. And anyone who breaks the law must be subject to the law.
Doc, we are back at it again. Same story.
No, I think
that's changing the headline.
I think we have submitted enough on this issue.
Yeah.
And like PK says, where's the intelligence? How is the police, intelligence system working? I think that should have been the question that you asked last week.
Yes.
That how come people came so close to the president with stones and were able to throw the stone at the podium? How did that happen? How is the police service working? Is there are they professional, or have they pushed away professionals in preference for certain group of police officers? Because that is unacceptable. If the police are not able to pick signs of violence and position themselves properly to protect property and people, then we have serious problems. Right. Because as we go towards the election, sometimes these eruptive situations may be several. And if they are not quick to respond to things like that, then we may have serious challenges in 2026. So the absence of the police is surely very suspicious.
All right. Comrades, your take over this matter. The PF Secretariat was attacked yesterday.
Quite unfortunate incident there. And to see UPND cadres clad in the regalia going about the streets of Lusaka, beating about people that are not even concerned about what is going on at the PF is a very sad state of affairs. Now, I want to highlight why I think this issue of political cadreism within the UPND, there is someone within the UPND who is supporting it, but when they come to the media, they want to give us a picture that they do not support it. Here is why. Right. According to UPND Lusaka Province Chairman Obias Maniteta, he has warned that the UPND cadres who caused havoc at the PF Secretariat will be dealt with. End of quote. This is in the News Diggers. And when you listen to the minister, I think today he was speaking as Chief Government Whip. the cadres are being said to be suspected UPND cadres. It's not very specific to say those were UPND cadres.
Yeah.
Then you can clearly see that there's a mismatch. The Lusaka province minister, he says the UPND cadres, without adding any exception to say these are suspected, is gone direct. They will be dealt with. But when you listen to the minister, he's distancing himself, maybe because he spoke as the chief government spokesperson. But I think it is a very wrong approach. If you are going to address a matter as serious as cadreism, violent cadreism, you need to be categorical, and you don't need to sugarcoat the truth. You need to go as direct as you can. One thing that I liked about away from where you were saying suspected and the other issue, one thing that I liked about Mr. Cornelius Mwetwa was the fact that he has called on the police. This is why it is interesting. He has called on the Zambia police to be proactive. Now, can you imagine? He is the Minister of Information. Where is the Minister of Foreign Home Affairs? If the Minister of Information is urging the police to say, can you be proactive? What does that mean? It means that the police are sleeping on duty. Where these acts of criminality are happening, they are not doing anything. Last week we spoke about the intelligence of the police. It has come out very clearly because Mr. Mwetwa he sits in cabinet. And for him to say police are reactive, it simply means that they have seen that there's a problem that is happening within the Zambia police. But sometimes we ask too much of the police. Look, when the police are following up a criminal, a thief who is not aligned to a political party, especially the UPND, we have seen how the police have acted very swiftly, arrested criminals who are terrorizing a compound and so on and so forth. They are doing their job commendably. But when it comes to political violence associated with the police, the UPND, it's like the police are looking the other side. When the police look at the other side, it should tell the Zambians to say there is someone within the UPND who says, don't arrest these UPND cadres. They are our people. Can you focus on other things? Because there is no way. I doubt it if police did not know that UPND cadres were going to cause havoc at the PF Secretariat. I doubt it. They knew. But it's like it is very difficult for them to effect an arrest on UPND cadres. There is an invisible hand that says, don't arrest these people. They suffered for the UPND and the PF were beating them. So that is something that the Minister of Home Affairs and indeed the IG to take it very serious. If a Minister of Information is telling you that you are reactive as the Zambia police falls under the Home Affairs, then Commander-in-Chief President Hakainde Hichilema. That statement that was made by Mr. Mwetwa is a very indicative to say there is something wrong with the Zambia police, especially when it comes to dealing with political cadreism, those that are coming from the UPND.
Okay, let's look at these two videos on the screens, and then later on I'll of course allow PK as well as Doc to dive into. Let's have these two videos of the events which took place yesterday, organized by the UPND Lusaka Deputy Mayor, Madam Katie Nanyangwe. All right, we are discussing the attacks which happened at the PF Secretariat as of yesterday. Now, PK, I don't know, you are a guru in the media. Comrades, I don't remember the last time I covered an event where there was a political event within Intercity there, mobilization of such a nature. I don't remember that. Now, let's define what that market is all about. It houses so many people. You know, was it okay for the deputy mayor to conduct such an event, a political event, to begin to campaign, mobilize for herself, as well as the president?
I'm talking about
Have
CDF.
the campaigns really been officially opened?
She was talking about CDF.
Yeah, interesting times that we are living in. The choice of a venue, a market, as you pointed out, a market is supposed to be a very neutral place.
Yeah.
Because some people who trade there, let's start with the religious people, are from the watchtower.
Yeah.
Who don't believe in voting. Some people who are trading in those markets are from other political parties. And the biggest question we still have to ask is, did the deputy mayor have a police permit? And did the police say, we have enough manpower, we can come and police the market?
That hostile environment.
That hostile environment? Did the police say to her, you can go ahead, it's still very safe? Look at what the outcome was. If the police had cleared that meeting, then the police, they've gone to sleep. Completely gone to sleep. The choice of a market, in my view, at a time when markets are catching fire, doesn't speak very well strategically. We had the market that caught fire in
Chamboli now.
Yeah, Chamboli is the latest one. There was where the president was stoned. Chiwempala. Then now you have Chamboli. And then you have to go and organize a political gathering, political mobilization event in a Lusaka market. The sensitivity around political strategic movement and intent must really be informed by what's happening on the ground. You cannot overlook these issues. So let's take away politics from markets, please. Those markets are places where people are driving a livelihood. They are drawing a livelihood from there, and they belong to various political parties. So you cannot say we're going to have this whether you like it or not. No, it shouldn't be like that. And let's also be sensitive.
Right.
That markets are now catching fire, and I'm wondering why we're not hearing anyone arrested. Has it also occurred to us that the police have given up on investigating what is causing these fires? Is it electrical faults? Is it lightning because it's raining now? What's going on?
Yeah.
What is going on with these market fires? So you can't take another political campaign in a market when we still have unresolved issues around market fires. So I don't know what to say really about this thing. I have so many questions running in my mind. I just hope that politicians could be advised properly by political strategists what not to do and what to do, when and where. You can't just do things haphazardly and say, no, it's not right.
Right. Doc, within a minute, we need to move on.
Okay. I will differ with PK.
Please,
And
go ahead.
Go back to history. Allow me to read something about politics and markets.
Please.
Market politics in the time of Jesus. In the time of Jesus, the market was not just a place of buying and selling.
Right.
It was the center of political power, social control, and economic exploitation. What happened in the marketplace was a reflection of who ruled, who suffered, and who prospered. So the Jewish people lived under the Roman occupation. The Roman occupation used the market as a political tool. Taxes, trade, permits, temple offerings, all fed into the system that ensured the poor stayed poor while the ruling elites, the Roman officials, tax collectors, and wealth priests accumulated wealth. So the market is a symbol of power. And it's a trading place, not just for goods and services,
Right.
but it's also a trading place for political views and so on. So, in as much as we may not like to have politics happen at the marketplace, you will be shocked to understand that marketplaces are very key.
Right.
If a candidate, for example, is not accepted by the marketeers, it will be very difficult to sell that candidate in a district or in a constituency or in a ward. So when you go to the market, it is from the market that news will spread around to who is strong and who is weak.
Right.
But the presence of the UPND at the market is perhaps authoritative. They are using their authority because they are in government. But what is what do the people think about those meetings? Is it everyone who is in support of what they are saying and doing? So yes, they are going to the market to flex their muscles and show they are the ones in power, but there must be order. What is saddening is that from that market meeting, then we hear of an attack.
Yeah.
It really paints a very bad picture on the deputy mayor of Lusaka.
Great.
Yeah.
And the
But
question again would be, have the
markets-
campaigns been opened?
Well, the campaigns have
launched?
not been opened. The campaigns, in as far as I've seen them within this rule of the UPND, have been running since 2021. From the very first day that UPND won, they have been doing the campaigns everywhere. Everything they did, everything they said, everything they planned, it's all about the 2026 election.
Elections, right. Comrade, within a minute, I want us to close.
Okay, one thing that I want to say is that late President Edgar Lungu, there was a time when there was a lot of police not giving permit to the UPND and so on and so forth. He called on the Zambia police to say, can you respond and raise public confidence amongst the general citizen? Because he saw that people had lost hope and confidence in the Zambia police. I make the same call to the current IG, Mr. Grafel Musamba. Can you improve public confidence amongst the Zambian citizens? Today, can you do the same permit? If you gave the permit to the deputy mayor of Lusaka, give a permit to Socialist Party, give a permit to FDD, give a permit to DPP, give a permit to Citizens First to go and conduct a meeting of a similar nature in a market. It can be in the Chawama market, Kanyama, anywhere in Lusaka. If that can happen, then Zambian people are going to say that the police are being fair in the application of the rule of law. But under the current circumstances, I can guarantee you that many political parties can make a formal request to the police that want to hold a meeting at Intercity Market or at Kulima Tower Market, anywhere in Lusaka. That authority will not be given to these opposition political parties. But UPND are doing that at will. They can do it anywhere, and police will not give them any permit. I challenge the UPND administration, even the Zambia police, the new spokesperson, Mr. Chiambi, to show the nation the permits that have been issued to the UPND to conduct all the meetings that they have done in the last 1 week. You'll find that there will be nothing. But there are a lot of rejections that opposition political parties have suffered. So the issue again, like I said earlier, Mr. Grafel Musamba, please raise public confidence in the operations of the Zambia police by being fair to the PF, the UPND, Citizens First, and everyone else.
All right, interesting. Let's go to story number 3. Now look at the reactions that have, emerged after the newly appointed Deputy Inspector General of Police. That's Mr. Is it Hamamba? Fred Hamamba. Yes, exactly. So let's watch the video of the newly appointed, rather sworn-in Deputy IG.
I've decided to come here to appreciate the vision of our able president, whose vision tells us that the country is now going on the right direction than it was before. I won't be ashamed to mention that, than it was before. Even those who hate him, deep bottom of their hearts, they know the president, the Republican president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is doing fine. He has got the best vision so far, which we need to support. We have to support his vision. No matter what, we have to support his vision because it's leading us somewhere. It's driving the country into a right direction than where the country almost went. We are happy. I don't know what would be like if things went the other way. I don't think the country would continue enjoying peace that we are enjoying now. Some of us, we were the most victims of our friends who went. We spent most of our times in the bush, running away from our own country. Our own country. I don't think he would like to see such kind of things where our own citizen would run away from their country because of lack of peace. I would urge you, all of you, including myself.
All right, that's a story involving the newly appointed Inspector General of Police, Mr. Fred Hamamba. PK, there's a story here which has attracted a lot of attention.
Yeah, I mean, I saw on social media there was a lot of reactions to this story. And here, from the time we started this evening, we've been questioning the conduct of police.
Yeah.
After watching this clip of the Deputy Inspector General of Police, I think it answers the questions that we have been asking, that what has happened to the police. Because I can't think that man who was speaking there is a trained police officer of the rank that he has been decorated with. He speaks more of a cadre than a commissioned officer who is supposed to protect the citizens on equal measure. But he seems to be speaking as if he's a political cadre. And if the police is beginning to behave in a particular manner, I think I've got an answer. That really answers the questions that we have had tonight, asking what's happening to the police. If the Inspector General, Deputy, could speak in the manner that he has spoken, then I'm worried. I'm totally worried. I just want to remind Mr. Hamamba. He was in charge of the police not too long ago in Chinsali, where I come from. He has just been called from Chinsali, from my village, promoted to headquarters here.
Yeah.
He says he wouldn't want to have a country where citizens are running away. Can I remind him that Emmanuel Mwamba is not in the country? Can I remind him that Secretariat is not in the country? Can I remind him Kaiza Zuru is not in the country? Can I remind him that JJ Banda is not in the country? They've all run away. In the same way, he says he was in the bush mostly. He was a wanted person, Mr. Amamba, in the previous regime. He was a wanted person. So if he says he was running away, why is Secretariat running away? Is he not a wanted person?
He is.
Why is Emmanuel Mwamba running away? Is he not a wanted person? Why is JJ Banda running away? Is he not a wanted person? So let's distinguish what is politics and what is in the normal, process of you having to answer to particular charges of the law. It's not because of this or that. So I need to correct him when he says he doesn't want to live in a country where citizens are running away. I have just cited that if he ran away in the previous regime, in this regime, there are other people who have run away. So what is Mr. Hamamba trying to communicate to the Zambian people there? Let's be objective and not take cadarism in the spaces where it is not needed.
Doc?
When you take time to read the Zambia Police Act, you find that number one, it prohibits police officers to participate in partisan politics. Number two, it prohibits them from making political statements. Number three, it prohibits them from selective application of the law. Number four, it prohibits them to use force to aid any political group.
Yeah.
Neutrality is one of the things that is expected from every professional police officer. Now, when you listen to a statement like that, in as much as we expect them to, offer or, to be loyal to their commander-in-chief, the loyalty is in their hearts, but it's not something that they can preach publicly like that. I don't know whether he was aware that somebody was recording him or he wasn't aware that somebody was recording him. So that is a very, very politically loaded statement, very biased, like Piquet has said, maybe this is the reason why we are seeing selective application of the law, because the officers that are in charge are already showing impartiality. Are not showing impartiality, they are showing to be partial. They are showing the sides where they belong, which is not supposed to be the case. Deputy IG, sit down and reflect. Get back to your professionalism. Get back to what you have been taught, what you have been trained, what you underwent to learn during the time when you did your police training, and do the right thing for the Zambian people. Governments change. Tomorrow it will be a different government, and you don't want to come and find yourself explaining. Don't help those that are in power to help get them out of power by your conduct as police officers.
Comrade Sichula, your take on that.
I'll cite a very funny example. When the Upnd came into office in 2021, I was in the Zambia Police WhatsApp group for journalists. Do you know that I was ejected from that WhatsApp group by Mr. Ray Hamonga because I asked Mr. Ray Hamonga to say, since President Hakainde Hichilema has appointed Mr. Siandenge, who has been on the run, this man has been on the wanted list. I asked Mr. Hamonga to say, what is the status?
Right.
Is Mr. Siandenge still on the wanted list, or that thing has been dropped? Do you know what Mr. Hamonga did? He ejected me from the WhatsApp group.
That's the response he gave you.
That's the response he gave me. And 4 years from that time, I've not been in any Zambia Police WhatsApp group for journalists because of merely asking a question to a public officer who gets paid taxpayers' money.
And that was an important question.
That was an important question. Because today, if the records have not been erased by the current administration, if this administration changes, Mr. Siandenge and Mr. Hamwamba, they will still run away again. You see what I mean? That's how serious that issue is. But instead of responding to me as a journalist, he looked at me as a political cadre who has been sponsored by politicians to ask a question. So, now, getting to this state of affairs, it's when citizens or police officers begin to film their superiors and publicize those videos, it simply means there is something that they are not happy with. This is one of the cases that we have seen of the senior police officer being filmed and the information is made public. The other information that we had is of the Road Transport Safety Agency Director General, who was also recorded and information published to members of the public. What these two scenarios are depicting is that there is a loss of public confidence in the people that are appointed. Instead of when you are appointed, yes, I know getting a job is something that is a privilege. And when you get it at a higher position, you want to appease the people that have appointed you. But you should not throw away professionalism. When you throw away professionalism, it is now why we are seeing these videos. Because if Mr. Hamamba was aware that he was being filmed, or there were journalists in that gathering, I don't think he could have spoken the way he did. So when your junior officers are recording you, just know that they are not happy with your conduct. You are moving away from professionalism into political appeasement of the people that have appointed you. When you do that, you are not protecting the image of the people that have appointed you. So in terms of public confidence with what the Deputy IG has said, it is reducing the public confidence. Imagine the PF were to have an audience with him to say we've been denied a permit to hold a rally in this place and so on. So they already have a background of who he is. Because according to him, he says Mr. Hakainde Hichilema is taking this country to a very good place where Zambians are having 2 hours of electricity.
He has concluded.
He has concluded that Zambians are happy. Where if you've got a diesel motor vehicle, you need to move you need to finish your diesel in your tank to search for find fuel. I don't think that is a very good picture of President Hakainde Hichilema. So the Deputy IG should stick to his role of protecting law and order and move away, leave politics to politicians. Because when we digest his message, I don't think Zambians are happy to have 2 hours of road shedding. I mean, 2 hours of power. I don't think Zambians are happy. So I think the Deputy IG was offside.
He can do better.
He can do better, and he's not improving the public image of how people look at the police. He's actually reducing it further.
For me, what I pick from there is here's a person who's very wounded. Someone who's very angry, who is bitter, who is wounded, and such a person needs to be advised to heal where possible. That's all. Let's move on to story number 4. Director, now look at PF vows to proceed with the convention despite Chabinga's injunction. Chabinga held a press briefing on Thursday last week. PK doc and speech analyst, in which, according to him, he said he had filed an injunction to prevent the PF from conducting that convention. What did you pick from there, PK? But the PF are saying, no, we are going on.
Well, before even we talk about the PF going on with their convention, I sometimes reflect and think about Mr. Chavinga. How does he sleep? Does he even enjoy his meals? What is his life after politics? If there will be change of government, how will he interact with his colleagues? Because right now he's living a very artificial life. He has got police protection. At whose behest? Who is providing that police protection? On what account? Why hasn't that courtesy been extended to all other members of parliament? Why Chavinga alone? Is this service going to be continued after August 2026? Mr. Chavinga will continue to enjoy police protection? What that member of parliament is doing, he needs to take a reflection. He's promoting lawlessness. He knows that this case is before the courts of law. Here in Lusaka. He takes a journey to Kabwe to go and obtain that injunction in Kabwe. Why in Kabwe, not in Lusaka High Court? Because he knows that man called Ngonga was rude, that is not a bona fide Secretary General of PF. He is forum shopping. He is abusing the court process. That injunction, I would also want to support the PF. Let them go ahead. Because you cannot, on one hand, as Chavinga, disregard the ruling of the court, and you want the PF, because it suits you, to obey another set of the court, another division of the court. No. I would think that let the PF go ahead if they will succeed. I know it is very challenging, but if they can succeed, let them go ahead. What I liked on that particular day is Chavinga saying, effective this moment.
After this minute.
After this very minute, the PF Secretariat must be closed.
A lot of pomp.
With a lot of courage. Is it called Dutch courage?
Well,
but what I liked was immediately after that, there was a political rally there at the Secretariat, as if to just send a message to say, Chavinga, take a back seat. take a chill pill.
Continue eating the money.
Continue having police protection. We have a party to mobilize. I think they sent a strong message to him. That when he expected that the place would be closed, there was a huge rally at the PF Secretariat. So I can say Chavinga is really abusing the court process. He needs to reflect. There is life after what he's doing. I don't know how he will live with himself after these things.
Right. Let's hear from Doc. The PF was still insisting that they will still proceed with the convention. But also, I think something interesting. There's a statement which was written by a Lusaka lawyer in the name of Celestine Mukandira. You know, quite detailed and very interesting, because I think something that many of the Zambians may not have come across this story, where he, according to him, he said this so-called injunction has got some errors in there, you know, which renders now the entire purported injunction null and void, illegal, because in there they addressed the PF acting SG, who is also the deputy SG in the name of Brenda Nyirenda, as a Mr. as a he.
You know, when you are acting out
full of drama, I mean,
when you are acting out of under a lot of pressure, you make a lot of mistakes, and this is exactly what is happening with Mr. Chavinga and the desperate, acts of those that are sponsoring him. Obviously, a very normal person, a very normal human being, and that is not to insult him, would actually want to do what he is doing without the backing from somewhere. The PF case has been in the public domain for a long time.
Yeah.
So a judge in
3
Kabwe
years now.
is interested. A judge in Kitwe is interested. A lawyer and almost every Zambian is interested to know what the fate of the PF is. And their decision to go to the convention is the best way to resolve their internal wrangles. And if Chavinga was acting within the interest of the party, he would have been very glad to attend that convention.
To go and participate.
To participate
Measure
in
his
that
weight as well.
convention. Because it's at the convention where political parties can sit. It's the highest, organ of the party that makes firm and final decisions. So the issues of leadership challenges, leadership wrangles would have been resolved easily at the convention. Because then the people have said, no, Mr. Chavinga, you have our support. You are the president of the political party. Mr. Ngona, you have our support. You are the Secretary General of the political party.
Yeah.
But to run away from the convention, to go to a single judge, to determine the fate of a political party that has got millions of supporters across the country, is not only illogical, it is also immoral. It's very immoral. Even for the very judge, whichever judge sat and signed that order. I don't think that the judge is acting based on the law. I don't think so. Which law? When you look at the injunction, when it comes to you, judges are very meticulous. They are very particular. They are very pervasive. The judge should have been able to detect the defects that were in that, that injunction. The question is, will the PF hold the convention? Maybe not. Not because they don't want to, but because there are people or a system that is against the PF choosing its leadership. Because the moment the PF chooses its leadership, the confusion, the purported confusion comes to an end. And therefore, the PF would be unstoppable in the 2026 election.
Wow.
So the hope that they could successfully hold that convention, I think, in my own view, and looking at the pattern and the trend on how things have come so far, I would actually be saying to the PF that perhaps they are wasting their time. It's high time that they sat as top leaders. It's high time that they sat as, the candidates, the 10 candidates who are participating in the race. That maybe they should opt for one agenda convention, which can also be done online, where they find a secure online platform on which the participants, from the comfort of their homes, are able to elect a leader. There are systems like that. They can choose a leader without necessarily having a gathering. Once they have found a leader, then let them make firm decisions in terms of how they would want to participate in the 2026 elections. Because I mean, there are so many avenues. There's Plan B, but I think they now have to look for Plan Z.
Right.
Plan Z or die. Thank you.
Wow. Comrade, within a minute, your take.
I think the court...
This has been rendered as a defective order. And we have seen cases sometimes being dismissed in the course of law on technicalities, because you just made a single wording mistake.
Well, according to someone shared with me to say, when there's a clerical error or a typo error, it's something that can be corrected, amended, and to mean what you meant to be. For instance, you're talking about Mrs. and it was Mr. So that can be amended and not to nullify the whole court order. That's according to someone who is vested with law issues. Then getting back to the issue of Mr. Chavinga, I had the privilege to be in Mafinga last year. It is surprising that some of the people in Mafinga, they actually do not know that Mr. Chavinga is the acting PF president. So
in his constituents.
Yes, so it tells you the influence that he has on the PF is just here in Lusaka, which is supported probably by the governing UPND party, though they will deny, but they are working with him. So I think to have a good picture of the judiciary, I think the judiciary should have stayed away from the PF issue, because it is just making the judiciary to appear as if they don't know what they're doing. Because look, there's already an issue here in Lusaka, but another judge across town thinks otherwise. But when the judiciary should be one. So if the Chief Justice is truly worth his salt, this is a case that he could begin to say, I think this issue, let us do it now and so that we forget, because it is making the job of the judiciary to appear compromised. Right. It is a very sad issue that the judiciary needs to avoid meddling their interest into this issue. Or if there are political parties, political machines that are directing or pulling strings to say, go to this judge, not this judge. At the end of the day, Zambian people are looking at the judiciary to be very compromised, and the case of the PF will not see the end of it will not end. It can even go beyond after the 2026 general elections. But at the end of the day, the people that are going to lose are the members and the supporters of the PF. So the PF needs to find something away from this PF.
Right.
I don't think they'll go anywhere. If they say, Doc, like Doc is saying, they hold a virtual meeting, which someone responded to me privately to say this is the route that they will take. The issue of the adoption certificate will come in, and the ECZ are going to be with Chavinga to ensure that no one else who doesn't have the PF certificate files in. So this issue is dead.
Well, we shall follow this story and see how far
things will unfold.
Yeah, things will unfold, exactly. Let's go to our last story. We'll look at the draft constitution, which we've been told that the draft will be ready by month end this month. This is despite the widespread rejection from critical stakeholders. Let's watch this video. Of course, we've seen the comment coming from the FDD spokesperson, who has also weighed in on this matter regarding the constitutional amendment.
Fellow Zambians, we in the Forum for Democracy and Development want to condemn in the strongest term the statement by Judge Mushavati retired that the Illegal Technical Committee, which is the UPND project, has received overwhelming response from Zambians both here and in the diaspora. Judge Mushavati's statement is meant to authenticate a fraud exercise, which we have all said no. We know that all of you who are sitting as the members on that technical committee, which Hakainde Hichilema is controlling, you are making shameless statements. You have diverted and you have betrayed the confidence of the Zambian people. The statement that Zambians have overwhelmingly submitted to yourselves is force, and it is there so that you would wink Zambians in believing that this is an exercise they should believe in. We have had rejection from key institutions. The Jesuits have rejected to submit to your technical committee. The Runda law establishment have rejected. Our chiefs in the Eastern Province have rejected. The NGOCC have rejected. So we do not know which people you are talking about. Like we have always said, this is a fraud exercise which is meant to favor the UPND. And as Zambian, we have rejected this. We keep on rejecting, and this is nothing. And even the members of parliament, as they would take this because you are giving us a predetermined process, even as it will come to parliament, we know that even the UPND members of parliament who are reasonable do not agree with this. This is a project of Hakainde Hichilema. This is not a project for Zambians. And this document that you are going about with a tailored mission, where you are calling UPND cadres to come and submit, like we have seen in the case of former Vice President Kavindere, even Mr. Venon Mwanga, including the other UPND cadres who have submitted to this committee. You cannot tell us that as a people, this is what we have authorized. We have rejected this as a fraud exercise, and we keep on rejecting it. And all well-meaning Zambians have rejected this fraud exercise. And members of parliament, as this comes to parliament, please be level-headed. This should be rejected. This is the Hakainde Hichilema project. This project shows how afraid Hichilema is. Hichilema is afraid of losing power. Whether you increase the number of seats in parliament, it does not guarantee development. Hichilema anama vanduboza. All of you who are there, even the composition which is there, it is a tribal composition, it is a composition embedded in cadreism, and we have rejected this process.
That marks our last story on the analysis program. Let's hear from Pike within a minute, then we begin to conclude all of us. Pike.
It's very unfortunate that a process that should have been straightforward, should have been national building, should have brought consensus, is now shrouded in all of these kind of very emotive, comments. I listened to the FDD. Is he a spokesperson?
Yes, he is.
Saying even the composition is a tribal composition. Very unfair statement to make.
Yeah.
But it's only unfair because when people have made submissions to say, can we abandon this process? Can we look at constitutional making wholesomely and holistically, perhaps after the election? It does look like all these pleas are falling on deaf ears. And people are beginning to draw their own conclusions. And you can't fault them. Because when they are making a plea, looks like no one is listening to their pleas. So it's very unfortunate that this process has been reduced to a partisan stance to a certain degree. The Constitution is a national document. It's one document that binds us all together. It can never be driven by the UPND alone or those handpicked by the president alone. Because civil society, key members of the civil society, the church mother bodies, the Law Association of Zambia, NGOCC, Oasis Forum, and so many of them have cautioned and have advised, can we slow down on this, or at least allow the representation to come from these organizations. But no one wants to listen. And to hear Judge Mshavat saying the draft will be ready at the month end, how?
instead of the 16.
Is it chat GPT or is it AI that is going to use?
And these are the views from across the country.
These are not views from across the
according to them.
According to them, these are views from across the country. But no, you are rubber stamping a process that has been rejected.
Yes.
You are rubber stamping submissions that have been rejected. There are even those who have been insinuating that some people are being given 100 kwachas as inducement. You know, we have read these stories in media reports and online, that some people are being given 100 kwachas as inducement to make a submission. And then you come and say this is a representation. Doc, if you're going to make a presentation that should be included in the constitutional amendment, why should I pay you? Why should I pay you for making a submission?
And you are paying me 100 kwacha.
And it's only 100 kwacha. So, I have said the analysis is submitted here before. And this is an opinion I also hold strongly. That if the UPND is going to bulldoze its way with Bill 7, Bill 7 will be one of the things that is going to decampaign the UPND. And lastly, the UPND might suffer humiliation from members of the parliament when they bulldoze this process and find that the members of UPND in parliament won't be in support of this. You know why? Most of them have come to realize that after all they will not be adopted. There is a push for new adoptions. So there are a number of UPND current serving MPs who will not be adopted. So they will vote for this bill that actually will kick them out in one way or the other. So I know for a fact that they are individuals, they are intelligent, they are patriotic. For now they have to go with what we call mob psychology. But when it is time to vote in parliament, they will not vote for this. And it will be an embarrassment to the UPND and the president in particular if this thing, fell flat on the floor of the House.
Wow. Doc, your minute starts now.
You know, the way I look at the whole issue,
Yeah.
it's as if the UPND is in the ICU. And the only thing that can save them is this PU 7. Not Bill 7, but PU 7.
Why do you call it PU?
Because it's like it's the only thing that will cure the UPND from the ICU.
Right.
Zambia is bleeding with so many important issues. And I think on top of the agenda is the issue of solving the power deficit problem. We cannot have a nation that only has 2 or 3 hours of power per day. 2 or 3 hours of power per day. And then instead of focusing our energies, putting up a committee, the technical committee, to solve the power problem, you put up a technical committee to extend your stay in office. Because what we have all been hearing as a rumor was now confirmed by Kavindere. Because I don't think that is his own submission.
No.
That is not his own submission. That is a submission from his paymaster.
He was sent
To extend the presidential term.
10 to 7 years. Which means that even our anticipated 2026 election could be altered to take place 2 years after. And if we are going through so much torture, so much hell, so much pain now, plus 2 years.
How does our former vice president become so intelligent today when he's been in government all along? Why didn't he push for that? Maybe?
7 years now,
Exactly.
asking for 7 years, which means that the elections must be postponed by 24 months. So those who are hoping for, solutions, those who are in jail and they are thinking that maybe when there is change of government will come out, voila. That won't happen. So what has become so urgent is the preservation of power on behalf of the UPND and not necessarily taking care or addressing the challenges that you have. And that is why I want to turn to the honorable members of parliament. Don't betray Zambians. Zambians are already in so much pain. They are sacrificing a lot because of the bad decisions that have been experienced under this government. And therefore, give them the chance to rethink.
Right.
If they are happy with the UPND, they will re-elect the UPND in 2021. There is nothing to worry about. If you have delivered, relax. Go to the ballot, and after that, they begin the constitution-making process.
Right. Comrades, a minute begins now.
To me, comrade, this is a failed project. It is a project that is wasting taxpayers' money, money that could serve the interest of Zambians in another way. This project does not. This project looks to me. Is a state house project. If you recall the Bill 10, if you recall, members of UPF members of Parliament were heavily funded to go in their constituencies and campaign, mobilize for Bill 10. Have you seen the same with Bill 7? UPND members of Parliament are nowhere near mobilizing people to go and make submissions for Bill 7, meaning it is not their project. This is a project for State House to cement and consolidate the support of President Hakainde Hichilema. I'm here speaking on the camera, and I know that this bill is not going to pass once it is tabled before Parliament. It is something that is going to fail. We can come back to this recording and I'll be vindicated. This bill is not going to pass. Right. It is a waste. We are just wasting taxpayers' money. And more so, we have our senior citizens like Mr. Kavindere, who has told Zambians that Hakainde Hichilema has done so well. So, what do you expect from someone who is the chief praise singer of President Hakainde Hichilema? He definitely has got business interests. You know, the Robito corridor, Mr. Kavindere has got, the Northwestern Railway. He's always been pushing this agenda. I don't think he would want President Hakainde Hichilema to lose these elections. But Bill 7 is a waste taxpayers' money project.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming through the program. We'll be back again next week. PK, thank you.
Thank you, IP, and thank you to our dear viewers. Thank you so much for your time and for having confidence in the analysis.
And Doc, we appreciate you for making your time this evening.
Thank you, IP, and thank you, our dear viewers and followers on Facebook.
All right, and comrade speech analyst, we appreciate you as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, IP, and good evening again to our dear viewers. And lastly, I think I wanted to tell the Deputy Mayor of Lusaka to relax and do things better next year in 2026.
Before, allow me to thank all of you that have managed to tune in this evening. I know that some of you've been complaining about the analysis, but we've been live. Maybe it could be the network or some forms of disturbance from your end. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again next week with some other topics that will be lined up for the program. This is IP. May God bless Zambia. May God bless Mother Africa. Good night.